Welcome back to the stock portfolio update videos. Currently, my two stock portfolios sit at a combined value of over $101,000. That's made up of the $54,986 in my stake portfolio and then the $46,686 in my Vanguard portfolio. As you can see, and if you've been tracking markets, it's been a rough time for many investors as stocks have really taken a nosedive. Overall, my US portfolio is currently up around 13.64% or around $6,599, with many of my holdings now being big into the red over this last month. If we have a look at my Vanguard portfolio, this portfolio has been a lot more steady and has a bit less volatility just due to its holdings. So Vanguard, my portfolio here in Vanguard is meant to be a lot more diversified, so I don't own any individual stocks in here. I have VLC, which tracks the Australian Large Companies ETF, which is the biggest companies here in Australia, and then I have VGS, which tracks international shares. So that really only came down from around $144 a share, all the way down to around $134. And then VLC went from around $86 to $79, which it currently is, and then went also down to like $77. So still a big drop, but not as big as just my individual stock holdings did in the US. So if we have a look, you can see many of my big stock holdings, it's still the same from my last videos. I have been investing more money. I think overall during this market downturn, I have probably invested around $5,000. And next Tuesday I will be investing again. So if we have a look, Apple is down in the day, it's down 2.66. Many stocks are down big today. So overall, many investors' portfolio took a big hit in the last day. So Apple's down 2.66. So all the way down from what would have been around 223 down to 217. This is a position that I did sell out a lot of my shares in. And I reallocated those funds. So I currently only own 5.2 shares or around 1,136 USD. I'm still up around 34%, so that's not too bad. Next is Amazon. So this is a big holding for me that I've been growing. And I think I am actually in the red now, 2% because the stock is down 4.29% today. So the stock had run up a little bit and it had bounced back into the 200s and then has really just pulled back down again. So potentially another buying opportunity, but yeah, it's been quite hard for investors recently. If we have a look at the last month, you can see the volatility as it's traded up and down, up and down. Next is Costco. Costco is a staple in my portfolio. Yeah, it's been hit. It's down 12% in the last month, so not very nice, and it's experiencing the exact same volatility a lot of my big tech holdings are. Next is Google. Google has really hit a low now. $154 a share, making it a lot more attractive for me. It's down 6.6% in the last week alone. And if we have a look at the last month, 9.39 or 37, sorry. And it did boost back up close to 170 and then just fell completely down the drain as many tech stocks have really been hit. I have around 30 shares in Google and I'm down around 6.9% or 7% nearly. Overall, the stock portfolio has taken a bit of a hit, but I'm using this opportunity to dollar cost average in. Like I said, I think I've invested around $5,000, so that's why the portfolio value hasn't dropped as much, because of my investing in, it's kind of kept the portfolio where it is. And yeah, that's just kind of how things have been looking recently. Same with my Vanguard portfolio. My Vanguard portfolio has actually grown over the month just because of me investing more money into buying positions. So I've been putting more money into VGS, just because I want to use this opportunity to really grow these portfolios. In 2022, I did videos on this channel as well back then, kind of tracking how my portfolios were doing. And it was a bit of a rough time for investors. Even if we look at VOO, which is my biggest individual holding in this portfolio, if we look at the 5-year calendar, this was 2022 when the market had really pulled back from the 2021 highs and had a bit of a down year. But then that was followed up by 23 and 24, which were amazing years for investors. And because of the time I spent here in 2022, dollar cost averaging, growing my positions, that allowed for 23 and 24 to be great years for me and really make the most of the time and effort I put into saving and investing during those years. So I plan to do the same here in 2025 if this is a market down year, but a lot of investors are worried, but we have had very good run-ups these last 2 years. So I think a lot of investors got complacent. That was one of the benefits of me starting investing back here and going through that tough period, because I had periods here where my stock portfolio was down over 20%. So these market pullbacks, yes, they hurt, but they do offer a good buying opportunity if you think that's the right thing. Of course, this isn't financial advice. You need to go do your own research on what you think are correct prices to buy into a lot of these holdings. But for me, if there are stocks that I like and they are selling at a discount, then I think that's a good opportunity to really put myself forward and invest in these companies and not just talk about it. But as you can see, this is my real money. So this is my money that I'm showing you. I'm not just doing videos talking about shares I want to invest in. These are actual positions where I have skin in the game. I have put my own hardworking money into these portfolios just so I can track them and do these videos to hold myself accountable. And yeah, some days aren't pretty. Like if you just look at the last day in my stake portfolio, it's down 2.94% or $1,666. So again, you think of all the things you could be doing with that money, but you kind of want to keep a long-term outlook. I'm still quite young. I have a long investment horizon ahead of me. So kind of these next 5 years, they do matter in terms of growing the portfolio. But again, I want to keep a 10, 20 year outlook ahead of me. So by the time I'm in my 30s or my 40s, hopefully my portfolio is at a much better size, and then I can start getting things like dividends, looking at that. And again, I'm not a dividend investor, but one of my goals for this year was to get around $2,000 in dividends. And I did recently receive a little $5.22 US dividend. So not much, but majority of my dividends do come through my Vanguard portfolio. So I'm planning on using this time to buy in, like I said, and going in next week, I'm thinking if these prices stay the same as they are, even though I've already been putting a lot of money into it, I'm potentially looking at investing more into Google and Amazon. So Google, Amazon, and VGS here in my Vanguard portfolio, I think will be great buying opportunities for me. These are companies that I am growing my portfolio positions in. If you've been tracking any of these videos, that's where the money that I sold out of Apple, I did put into these stocks, and then all the money I've been putting into the portfolios have been going into these positions. But I do believe in them long term, and with these constant market sell-offs, I think it's really presenting a great opportunity. Look, if you look at the portfolio, which are the two that are down the most in the last day? It's Amazon and Google. So again, if it means I have to cut out a bit of discretionary spending in my personal life so I can invest more in, I do not mind, because I do enjoy investing. It's something that I find quite joyful in as I get to grow these portfolios. And we'll have a look at my Excel spreadsheet. So what this does is I just kind of track things on here to kind of show myself over time, especially how the stocks have been going. So if we have a look, the stake portfolio, this gives a really good picture of just the constant upward trajectory of dollar cost averaging. Again, I was benefited by the strong markets, but a lot of this is dollar cost averaging over time. Same with my Vanguard portfolio. So even though last month we had a down month, and again this month we'll have a down month, just because as the portfolio gets bigger, there's bigger moves in terms of the dollar size, but I plan to just keep dollar cost averaging, and hopefully I can keep this nice trajectory that you've seen here. And then one day, if I do need these funds for something else, I can sell out, but it does hold me accountable to save money. I think I'm better at saving money if I put it into my stock portfolios because I don't take it out, compared to just putting it into my savings account. And hopefully I can generate a better return for myself. Talking about dividends, I did briefly mention a goal of mine is to hit $2,000 in dividends. So if I can hit that, that would be quite good this year. Again, I'm not a dividend investor, but every single piece of dividends that I get, every dollar is reinvested back into the portfolio. So if we have a look in total, you can see it's done quite well for me. In terms of my Vanguard portfolio as well, around $1,658 in dividends. And the good thing is, obviously I won't get any dividends this month, but as we go into April, because my dividends in my Vanguard portfolio are quarterly, I'll get some extra money there, and then I'll reinvest it right back into the portfolio to hopefully have that snowball effect over time. That's just kind of how things are looking. But yeah, my goal is to keep buying in this time and just keep building conviction in the positions that I own. That's the whole point. I learned a lesson back in 2022 where I had to sell out of positions I didn't believe in as much, such as Facebook at the time and Alibaba, and I lost a lot of money in those, where Now, with that experience, I can use this time to buy into companies I believe in and keep a long-term investing horizon. Again, if in the 2025 I have a down year, the market is down, my portfolio goes down for the year, but it means I've grown my positions and I've grown my share portfolio, then I'm not upset. And hopefully then 2026 can be a good year, or 2027, and just kind of keep that long-term outlook. But feel free to share how your portfolios are doing. Again, I'm just one investor tracking these videos. The videos have been doing pretty well recently. Thank you to anyone who's been viewing. And yeah, keep coming back, and I promise to keep uploading these videos each week. Cheers.